It's Jersey Watch.
Hi, Renny. How are you?
I'm good, Amirah. How you doing?
I'm doing good. So, like you said, my name is Amirah. I write for Jersey Watch Blog. We're a hip hop blog that writes about independent artists who are, out here doing their thing, hustling, grinding, pushing their music. And we want to help you guys push out your message. And then send some word of advice to other independent artists in South Jersey who are doing the same thing and are trying to develop themselves to potentially be where you guys are at. So this is an opportunity to just tell everybody what you're doing, what music you're working on, what's your independent message behind your music, and what are some of your thoughts on hip hop and where it's at right now. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I can't complain at all. I'm working. This is a part of work, so I'm great.
So you rep Camden a lot in your music. Before we start, what part are you from?
I'm from East Camden.
Okay, East Camden. You're probably like the second East Camden rapper that I've had come through. So, East Camden, shout out to y'all. Now, tell me a little bit about what that was like for you growing up in East Camden. How has that inspired your sound?
I can honestly say it inspired it a lot because, you grow up, you see a lot of different things. You see your friends, like, you lose some of your friends, people that you grew up with, they get lost in the streets. Some of them end up being in jail, some of them, end up passing. So, it definitely influenced me because it motivated me to be like, I got to make a change. I got to do something different. And, it made me realize that I can tell somebody else they can do it. It's possible. Coming out of the projects, you got to realize you can make something happen because otherwise you'll just be stuck in the projects.
I resonate with your story because me growing up in Camden, like you constantly you have that urge to grow. You have that urge to not grow outside of the hood, but to grow and to put your city on, to be a representation in a positive way for your city. Tell me how that was like growing up and striving to be positive or a positive figure in your city, and what was the journey that it took for you to make that mission a priority for you?
Well, at first, I started off playing basketball. So like most of my friends, they knew me for playing basketball at first. And then I just like started rapping and doing basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like first they knew me for just playing basketball. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start rapping. So when I turned like 11 years old, I really got into rapping. You know what I'm saying? So then it's like I kind of started doing both. And then, as I got into like my high school years, you know what I'm saying? That's when I really turned into Renny. Like that's when I really found my name. Like I ended up one day I was listening, like me and my friend, his name JB, we was listening to Jay-Z album The Blueprint. And it's funny because I was listening to the song Renegade, and that's where I got my name from. You know what I'm saying? Renegade, that's really what it's short for. And it's crazy because it describes me like I'm a renegade. I go against everything, you know what I'm saying? So my name is like Renegade the Rebel. So it's like two parts, Renegade, Rebel. And the reason I made it that way is because like I don't like going with the rules. Like I like to be myself. And if I do gotta go with the rules, I'm gonna bend them. You know what I'm saying? So that's really what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make stuff be my way because that's where it's fun.
I love when an artist has a name and they have a story to put behind it because it gives y'all it gives y'all like that character trait that we need to, discover. Like at the end of the day, when it comes to having your art and having a passion for music, you have to be able to relate to your artist in every way possible. And that name, having a meaning behind your name is.
I had to put, you can see it, like it's there. If you ain't got it tatted, you ain't a real rapper.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, like going so hard for your name and pushing that out there, that's so important for your fans because that's who they're representing. When they go so hard to support y'all, they're representing the brand Renny. So I definitely appreciate you telling us the story about, your name and how that came to be. Now, how did you discover your passion for music and that you even had a talent? And then when did you decide that after I have this talent, that I'm going to go ahead and make this a career for myself?
Well, I started off with my cousins. Like me and my cousins used to just do drill team, and you know how you used to make up the little raps in your drill team? I used to put mines in my rap. Like, you know, I used to put my own name in there. I used to make my own little ones up. And then was like, I started dancing too. So what happened is when I got to the point where I started liking it, like I started liking making my own little raps. And my cousins and them, they kind of stopped, you know what I'm saying? Like as we got like 10, 11 years old, we grew out of that stage of like just doing like the little kid dances and stuff. But I didn't grow out of the stage of making raps. I love to write. So when my father passed when I was 10 years old. And the way that my teacher had expressed me to like, you know, release my pain, she had told me like, you know, start writing poetry. So that was like my very first rap was like about my father. So I ended up really getting into it, like, you know, the little composition notebooks and all that. That's all I started using, you know, just to write raps as a kid. And my cousins and them start hearing me, and they used to, at first they didn't take me serious until I started really doing it. And then they would look at me like, oh, you all right. And that's when I started taking it serious. Like, all right, well, now I gotta keep going. I gotta keep going. So by the time I was like in middle school, because I went to East Middle. So at East Middle, you know, we used to battle in the lunchroom. You know what I'm saying? So by the time I was in East Middle, that's when I started really getting my name. Like I started building myself. By then I was calling myself A Money. I wasn't Renny yet. You know what I'm saying? I was A Money Bags. Anybody that know me be like, oh yeah, she was A Money first before Renny. You know what I'm saying? So I was A Money up until 14. By 14, that's when I was like, nah, you know, going into high school, I just went to A Money. And then by the time I would say I was in the 10th grade, I was in the 10th grade. I was 16 years old when I became Renny. And I can honestly say that because that was a transition year. That's when I actually started realizing my sexuality, realizing like, I'm not girly like my friends, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like to wear jerseys, and that's when I became Renny. I didn't want to be A Money Bags in the industry, like, you know what I'm saying? I felt that wasn't me. So that's where I changed my name. And I had to find myself, and then I snapped right into Renny ever since then. So since 16 years old up until now, I've been Renny.
Wow, I definitely appreciate that story. You know, it's not easy to, you know, talk about, you know, going through that identity, coming of age. So let's talk about you transitioning from being this talented individual to now I have to be an artist. Now I have to find myself. Now I have to discover, you know, who I am. And now I have to make this a career because, you know, every artist has that moment where they're like, you know, I'm really good at what I do, but how can I make a living off of this? You know, talk about that.
Well, it started with me finding my sound. I had to find my sound first. I had to realize like, all right, I'm not the girly rapper, so I'm not gonna talk about, you know, like certain stuff female rappers talk about. So once I realized that, it kind of made it easier for me. It was like, all right, well, you could just talk your shit. You could just say what you want to say. See, that's the freedom about being an artist. You have to know your lane so that you can be able to express yourself. So once I was able to express myself, it was easier for me to start creating music. Then it was just more so like, well, find the right beats that you can get on. So I started off just doing mixtapes, you know, like just getting on instrumentals, industry beats and all that. And when I started finding industry beats that would be similar to my sound, that's when I got it. But I had to find like certain artists, like I can name a few, like Rick Ross, you know, like Jay-Z, Wiz Khalifa, Currency, Missy, like certain people started having beats that I like. And I was like, okay, I could do this. I could really do this. So eventually I started reaching out to producers in my area. And when I started reaching out to producers from the city, that's when I got it. But I had to do that. Like I had to start reaching out to producers and be like, you know what? It's time for me to make a song. No more freestyles, no more industry beats. It's time for me to finally make a record.
I like that. You talk about the hustle aspect of it, reaching out to people and not, you know, because a lot of artists that I come across when they're first discovering themselves as an artist and like, hey, I'm good at what I do. They're like, oh, I rap and I make my own beats. And, you know, I don't know how many times I go to producers, and I give them a track like, hey, what you think about this? And they're like, the flow is hot, the artist is hot, but that beat, like, it needs some work. And you understood that. It's good that you understood that early on. I want to spend more time on what I love to do and what I'm good at. So I'm going to hand over this component of my work to the professionals. I'm going to hand this over to someone who I know is going to do good and give me justice. And the root of that message of it all is investing in yourself as an artist. You have to invest. You have to be willing and open to, make sure your music is high quality, at least good quality. So that way your fans and your supporters are not half behind with their support. Like, you don't want to give them half-baked things, because they're going to give you half-baked support. That's something I talked about in my last article with Soul Child. Now, your Hood Dreams EP was released last year, or 2020, excuse me.
Yeah.
And phenomenal. I love it. Great way to start off, this whole new wave of rap, of hip hop. I really love, the piece. And you have a song on there called Stay Down, featuring Mir Fontane. And, he's one of my favorite Camden rappers. I still have yet to interview him, but like I say all the time, anytime he's on a track, it's just sealed with gold. Like, you hear that track, it is going to be around for a minute. And, your track Stay Down is one of those. So what was it like to work with Mir Fontane? How did the project come about? What was the experience being in the studio? Because every artist who works with him, they have a different story to tell about this artist and how you guys collab in the studio. How did the magic work behind Stay Down?
Well, I'm gonna say this. First of all, I was in tears in that session. He made me cry in there. Like, when I say that, because his voice is so amazing and his passion. So what happened was, it was just me and Don Michael Jr. in there at first. So I had recorded my verse in the hook. So when he came in there, he was like, let me hear what she got. You know what I'm saying? Let me hear the song and stuff. So I played it for him and stuff. So he was in there vibing, you know what I'm saying? And he just whipped out his phone and started, he just went in there, he was like, all right, I got it. And next thing I know, he just went in there and just started singing like, ooh. I was like the way he just started going, it just like me and well, I call him Trax. Y'all call him Don Michael, but me and Trax was in there, and I just looking at him like, damn, y'all hear this? Like, it was crazy, because it sounded like I guess the best way to say it is, it sounded like an angel just was coming through the booth. I'm like, oh, it was beautiful, yo. It was so beautiful. And when I say I felt every single word he was saying, it was just like every single word he was saying. And I knew I made the right choice for getting him on a song. Because sometimes when you try to do a collaboration, you may have a person in mind for the track, but you don't know if they're going to bring it to life. But I knew hitting him up, I was like, listen, whatever it takes to get him on the song. Like, I was telling my team that, like, listen, whatever it takes to get this man on the song, I'm going to do it, because he's worth it. You know what I'm saying? But I also knew it's about the record. I knew that he's going to be able to talk about what he's going through in Camden, how he feel he got to stay down, how he feel he got to make it out the hood. And I knew I could relate on my level. You know what I'm saying? Even though I was singing my part, you still felt what I was saying. But with him, he basically gave you the breakdown. So I love how he was able to tap into his pain. He not only gave you his pain on that song, but he was vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? He was very vulnerable, and he let you into his world. And as an artist, you know what I'm saying, you have to be able to do that, because if not, people will get lost and they'll have their own narrative about you. Like, oh, well, I think you're just this type of rapper. Whereas he was able to show you, like, listen, I can give you all flavors, but this one, pain is my specialty. That's a secret weapon. I will say that pain music is his secret weapon.
I talked with Soul Child in my last interview, and definitely the song that they have together called Grow, the pain in his tone, the pain in what he's saying, it resonates within people from Camden. because it's like we live this. We live what you're singing about. And the way that you deliver the pain, it's like this is what we use as fuel to keep going. And you know, his artistry overall as an artist is slept on by those who don't matter, but it needs more recognition.
I gotta agree with that. I gotta agree with that.
It definitely needs more recognition. And for you to, you know, take him on as, you know, someone for that track. And, you know, a lot of people, when I hear them, you know, talk about like, I wanted him for a reason. He was what the track needed. And like I said, you have a timeless, you know, project on Stay Down. You know, it's never going to get old. It's always going to be relatable for us, specifically from Camden and all the hoods around America. No, it's dope. So I met you, well, I ran across you on Clubhouse about 2 years ago when the pandemic happened. Clubhouse was this new thing, and
that was the wave.
Yes, someone told me about it. I'm like, what? You only get an invitation? What? iPhone only? Okay. So I get on there and, you know, I'm talking in different rooms and stuff, and I run across you because you had this thing about you where you constantly wanted to get Camden artists to come together. I love that mission. That's something that I've realized that you're on. And when I first got on Clubhouse, I would see you will always have these, you know, Camden music room or Camden rappers or Camden this, Camden singers, Camden. And I'm like, and every time I hop in a room, it's like good conversation. You're giving people game. You're, you know, dropping gems about, you know, your experience being in the industry and, you know, just telling people, you know, just giving that inspiration that they need every time they hop on. And, you know, the conversations that we would have on there, like every time I hit a room, you like, oh, let me bring Amirah up. And, you know, I appreciate that because that shows somebody who's willing to step outside of themselves to pull your neighbor or somebody that you know you can relate to up and put them on the platform right along with you. And, you know, not too many people have that spirit. And if you keep that spirit, I really feel like you're going to really, you know, thrive in this industry because we have a lot of, you know, this industry can create a lot of situations where artists feel they have to backbite one another. But if you come in putting people on the pedestals that they should be on and that we shouldn't be competing for, then you're on the right track. So how has, with being on Clubhouse and using other social media outlets, how has social media helped your career as an artist?
It actually is the reason I'm talking to you right now. I can say that. It's the reason I'm talking to you right now because Clubhouse actually helped me build my brand. It helped me network. It helped me find connections and build a lot of industry relationships. It put me in a lot of different rooms that I probably couldn't get in if I literally had to fly out to Cali, fly, like, you know, go to New York, Miami, Atlanta, places like that. To be able to just go in a room and have somebody that really is not only a person in the industry, but actually have connections that can help you and you can bring them back to your city. That's what I really was able to get on there for. Like, most people was getting on there just to, you know, pass time through the pandemic and stuff like that. I had a mission when I was going on there. And by the time I got off of there, like I started on Clubhouse with like, I had 8,000 followers on Instagram. You feel what I'm saying? I'm 8,500. You feel what I'm saying? So I need to have 10K yet. But by the time I got on Clubhouse and really started going in engagement rooms and networking rooms and really pushing my brand and letting people know, like, hey, I'm Renny, I'm an artist from Camden, New Jersey. You know, I do podcasting as well. People started really being like, oh, all right. They started feeling me, I guess. Like, I don't know. It's like it seemed like I was doing it every hour. Like every time I would turn around, like it'd be times I'd be waiting hours and hours just to get a chance to speak for like 5 seconds. I would have the shortest pitch, like, all right, let me just say what I gotta say and get it done. But it was the reason I was doing that because I'm like, all right, well, let me be considerate of the next person that's waiting 2-3 hours to speak just like me. You know what I'm saying? So I would get my time, get like, you know, say what the shit I gotta say. But in them couple seconds, I would get them to with me. And when I got them to rock with me, that's when I started seeing my brand go up. So then when I hit 10K on Instagram, I think everything changed for me. I ain't gonna lie, everything changed. I started having everybody reach out to me, you know, people started really supporting me, boosting my brand up even more. And that's when I realized you have to build your brand. You have to build your brand up. Like you have to come with quality photos, quality visuals. You know what I'm saying? I'll be honest, at first my Instagram it was like, I was trying to be funny on there. I was being petty, entertaining, as you would say. So I had like memes and stuff on there. But when I got on Clubhouse, I started coming across rooms, like, you know, in the networking rooms, I came across a social media manager. And she did an audit on my Instagram, like an Instagram audit. And she was like, listen, you gotta look like you belong. You gotta look like you're already a part of the game, even if you're not in it. Even if your budget ain't big, you gotta look like you're there. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I got it. I was like, all right. She told me, she was like, hit that archive button, start archiving all your old content that you don't want people to see, and just start fresh. And when I did that, it went through the roof. You know what I'm saying? But I had to pay attention. A lot of information that I got off of Clubhouse was a lot of free game. And it's valuable because that meant more to me than getting a brand deal. Or, I mean, like it meant more than getting a record deal. The reason I'm saying that is because a lot of that information saved me a lot of money. They told me to watch out for scammers that's trying to hit you up to get verifications. And they told you certain people, like they told you how many articles you need. They told me certain things that I need to just do things properly. And that mattered because moving forward, I was able to bring that information back to my team and be like, all right, well now let's just do with this. Like, let's stick to the rollout. Let's brand ourselves and boost the brand up. Let's use this whole 2021 and use to build the brand up. That's why I didn't drop no music yet, because I wanted to build my brand up even more. But I am dropping this month.
Now, before we get to that, let's talk about, because you know I got to bring up the twins, Mir Fontane and Mir Pesos. On Hood Dreams, you have a track called Get the Bag. And I like the switch up of flow. You really showed that you can pretty much do it all on this track. Now I recently did an interview with Mir Pesos, and you know, I told him he was like the cowboy of Camden hip hop. It's like anytime he gets on a track, it's like, you know, when the cowboy enters the bar and the double doors swing open and everybody get quiet and look at him.
Yeah.
And he start tearing the stuff up. Like he gets on the track and it's just like, you know, you're gonna have a good time with this thing.
He does this.
Yeah, it's just rockets. It rockets straight up. And so what was the creative process like when working on that track with him? Because, you know, I know in our interview with him, he talked about him working with Mir and, you know, some things that, you know, they do in the studio, which was mind blowing, like writing songs in 5 minutes. So what was it like during the creative process of Get the Bag?
Well, I can honestly say, like, he's so entertaining. Like, he is so dope. So I had just left the other studio that I was at recording part of Hood Dreams. So I had went to the studio he was at with him and Fresco with a few other artists. And he was already in there. They was already in there recording this stuff. So I came in there, you know, he was like, put that beat on you want me to get on. So I put the beat on, you know what I'm saying? He just started dancing, like he's dancing around the studio. Like it was funny as hell, but he was getting in his zone. Like he was just there, like he was like, all right, you feel me? Like he just started getting in this bop, you feel what I'm saying? And the next thing I know, I had started recording my verse. And by the time I was done recording my verse, he was already in there writing his verse. So by the time I was done recording my verse, I had laid the hook down. He was already ready to lay his verse. So that's like, I know he's sitting there, like he's sitting in the chair or whatever, and he's at the microphone, so he just started killing it. He just started getting to the bag, saying something all about my bag came from nothing. So he just started going crazy. So that's like, I know we all in there just looking at him like, damn. So then he started, like some of the lines he started saying, I had to catch myself and not be in his ad libs because I was like, damn, like because he was just going like back to back with punchlines. I'm like, this is going crazy on here, right? But I would say he definitely is an artist in his own element. Like he knows his lane. He knew to be like, all right, well, you coming on here with this energy, I got to give him pace. You gave him Renny, I'm giving him pesos. You know what I'm saying? He's like, and I knew he was, that's why I picked that, like, I picked that beat for him, but he picked that beat actually. I sent him a couple beats and that was the one he picked. And I knew he was going to like it. I actually sent him a couple beats and I was like, all right, let me see if I threw that one in there to see if he was going to like it. Cause I was like, this got pace all over it. See, it's certain beats that I already knew I had in mind who to get on there. But I knew for some reason, I knew Pace was going to like get the bag. So when I sent it to him, and matter of fact, we was at his crib actually. We was at Pace's crib and we was going through the beats. And when I put on Get the Bag, I looked at him, like I was looking at him like, I'm gonna see if he liked it. Because I had played him, I actually wanted Pesos to get on another beat on there too. But I was like, I'm gonna see if he like Get the Bag. So when I put it on, he was like, I like that shit. He was like, I'm gonna fuck with this one. He was like, I'm gonna get on this one. And that's when I knew. I was like, he felt the vision I had for him. Because I was like, I know he was gonna get on it because I heard him on it. Like that's one thing. Like when I hear certain beats, I'm like, all right, well, I can hear this artist on there with me. I know they're gonna bring the intensity, the energy, and they're gonna, if I give it 110%, they're gonna kick it up with me. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he did. I can honestly say he gave us 100% pesos on there.
Wow. Definitely love that story because I've never experienced him in the studio, but I definitely can visualize it based off of the stories that I'm accumulating together. About exactly, always dancing like the Tasmanian devil, like can't sit still. Oh, like just coming up with stuff like you said, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Like it don't matter. Like he's just a creative mind that just is ready to explode, rocket pocket pace, you know. So
hey, he's one of my favorites. I tell him that all the time. Like, listen, for one of my favorites from the city. I hope nobody gets jealous, but like I said,
hey, it is what it is. Like, look, it is what it is. Each and every artist has their own thing, but there's some of them that just touches you. Some of them, you know, if I was to list my favorite people, I'd probably be like, yo, like what? Like, yeah, like, you know, we have that individuality here in Camden. It's like everybody not on drill tip, everybody not on conscious rap, everybody not on the turn up. Like we got so many different things that we can, you know, just pull from, you know, just in Camden. You know, a small population of maybe 17,000. Like we have a lot to offer. Now, you mentioned earlier that you wasn't releasing anything. You haven't released anything since 2020. But are you currently working on any music? And if so, can you maybe drop a little exclusive for us?
Okay, what I can do, because I don't have the record yet, because I actually gotta get it. But I am working on a Jersey club mix version of Count It Up. So that's coming this month. I'm giving them the Jersey club version, because of course we're from Jersey. So I'm giving them the Jersey club version. I got DJ Rob, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna link with him and he's gonna produce that and bring that to life, you know what I'm saying? He got the Ain't No Way challenge going crazy. So it was only right to do that for Camden. And one thing is we preparing for the video. So we definitely about to give you the Count It Up video. That's coming definitely in a few weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like by the time this come out and all that, we'll be getting the Count It Up video. So the Count It Up video is coming. And then y'all get Hood Dreams too.
Oh, so we got so many exclusives right there. Let's just recap. So you have your Count It Up Jersey Club mix featuring DJ Rob, who's blowing up with his Ain't No Way remix right now on TikTok and all streaming platforms. Then you got the video coming out in a couple of weeks.
Feature at least B. Shout out to my dog. We got a back.
And then you have Hood Dreams 2 coming out. Man, you're having a busy, productive year ahead of you. And, you know, like I said, congratulations.
Thank you. It's just getting started. Like yesterday is crazy because like yesterday I had an interview, today I have an interview. So it's like, this is really like the role, like everything is just coming out, and it's crazy because it's happening so fast. You know what I'm saying? Like they say it can happen overnight. It really can. It can seem like it's not happening, but it is. It really is.
Wow. I'm definitely proud of you, Renny. Now, what would you say is one of the biggest highlights of your career so far?
I would have to say, when I was on Clubhouse and I was in a room and I was playing, you in the music room, you playing music or whatever, right? You know, you premiering your songs and stuff. So I had a bunch of industry people that was in the room, and I premiered Count It Up. It was a few months ago, because at first I was just going in there and I was playing Stay Down. But then I had went in there and started playing Count It Up. And when I had Derek Milano and I had a few writers and a few industry people that was in the room. And they started telling me about my music. They was like, yo, you got syncable music, like music that could be in a movie, music that could really be taken seriously. And that's when I realized that I made it. I realized at that moment, like, it's there. Whatever I thought wasn't happening, whatever I thought wasn't being took it serious, they heard it. They heard the potential. They heard like, all right, well, if this was you was able to come with out of Camden, New Jersey, you know what I'm saying, with whatever little budget you working with, yeah, you got your point across. And that's when I knew, like I said, it's different when you hear your friends and certain people around you like, oh, I like the song, this, that. But when you hear people that can hit records for other people and be like, that's a catchy hook. Or I like how you switched up on, I like how you put this together. That's when I knew I really got my point across. And that's when I started taking it more serious. It's to the point where I started going to my team like, listen, man, we got to step it up. We got to go harder than we ever went before, because now if these people is paying attention to me, I got to give them something to pay attention to. So I started boosting my brand even more. Like I started putting in countless hours of networking just to really get myself out there, because I knew, like, listen, if I only need 6 hours of sleep, let me just get the 6 hours of sleep and use the rest of these hours to grind and push my brand. Because I knew that's what it takes. I knew I have to be up when most people are sleeping. I know I gotta miss out on some club nights. I know I can't always party and pop bottles with my friends when I gotta put this towards marketing, towards studio time, towards visuals, towards traveling, all the stuff I need to keep my brand what it is. And that's when I knew what it takes to be an independent artist.
Wow, I love your story about investing in yourself and in your art. You know, you're never, ever, ever going to get your music off the front porch if you're not investing in your own self. Putting that time and energy and money out for your dream to, you know, reap some benefit is always going to get you a step further. Now, we're coming to the end of our interview, but I want to know, what is some advice that NJ artists who are watching this can take away and use to help develop themselves farther and to put themselves in the position where you are now as an artist? What advice do you have for those individuals?
First, I would say find yourself and find your sound, because you gotta know your lane. Like Renny isn't Renny if Renny is trying to be Debray or Missy Elliott. Like, yes, I love them. They're my idols. They're my mentors, but I have to be Renny. So if you gonna be an artist, you gotta own your name. You gotta own your brand. You gotta be that person. Like when I step out the door, I'm Renny. people don't even call me my real name unless you family. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make yourself into that brand, but you gotta believe that it's gonna happen. Like me being Renny, I did it at 16. I'm in my 30s now. It's just now happening in my 30s. Stuff that I thought was gonna happen in my 20s, it's happening in my 30s. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna take time. And if you not patient, you can give up, and then you gonna be wondering what if. I didn't want to wonder what if. I had to make myself be like, yo, I'm gonna make this happen out of Camden, New Jersey, out of East Side Projects. Right now, I'm still in the projects, but I'm making it happen where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? The reason I'm doing that is because when I move forward and I look back at it, I realize like, yo, I was able to do this while I was still in the hood. So imagine when I do get to a better situation, when I get to, you know, the good life, as they said. It's like you got to work with what you have. And that's the best advice I can say. Work with what you have. Me, I use my iPhones, I use social media, whatever tools I have, if it's free or if it's something that's reasonable, I work with it. And the reason I do that is because people see your potential when you show effort. If you don't show no effort, they're not gonna take you seriously. It's millions of rappers. You know what I'm saying? It's millions of people every day, every second, a person is blowing on TikTok. If you're not a part of that wave, you're missing it. You know what I'm saying? And I said that because most people will be like, well, you don't have to do certain things. The things you're not doing is another artist doing, and they're capitalizing. And they're taking their little 15-second snippet and they're pushing it every day. And they're making sure people, they see it. So you have to be able to believe in yourself, and you gotta have a team that believes with you too. It can't just be you. You could be out here thinking you're gonna win on your own, but just like in basketball, just like in football, it's a team sport. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have a supportive team, because them days when you feel like it's real and you want to give up and you want to stop, your team is gonna be like, nah, you got this, keep going. They're gonna be your motivation and your backbone. It's times where, not saying I wanted to give up, but it was times I'm like, man, I'm still in this hood. Is even paying attention to what I'm doing? I'm posting my links. Is even sharing it? Is they even liking it? Is they even clicking the link? You know what I'm saying? But you'll see the results when people come to you and they sing your song. When they recite one of your lines to you, you be like, oh, that's when you realize, like, all right, people is paying attention. What I realized too is some of my friends and family members, they're supporters, but they gonna wait till everybody else support. So this is the stuff that people support later. You gotta realize that. Now, I do have a great family that does support what I do, and you have to have that too. I will say that. Before you worry about your friends and everybody else supporting, make sure your family support what you're doing. Make sure they behind you. You know what I'm saying? Because I was able to go to my family and be like, hey, I'm not trying to do certain things. I need to focus strictly on music. And my family got with me and was like, all right, well, whatever you need to be 100% an artist, do that. Because they knew my potential and they knew what I was trying to be. But if your family don't believe in your dreams, like my grandma, God bless her soul, because my grandma passed away, my grandma invested in my studio time. She was the first person that ever, when I was 16 and I went to her like, yo, grandma, my rap, I want to get in the studio. She was like, how much is your studio time? That's where you have to have people that believe in you. So that's why I take it serious, because I had people that invested in me and was like, yo, this is what you want to do it. And then when I got to a point to invest my own money into it, I took it even more serious. You know what I'm saying? Because I had people that believed in me since an early age. Like, all right, well, if this is what you really want to do, if you don't want to be in the streets being negative, you know what I'm saying, being in and out of jail, okay, this is what we're going to do. But like I said, you should be able to go to your family, and if you ain't got all your studio time money, ask for half. You should be able to get that from your family. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, all right, so what you want me taking somebody's head off in the street to get this? You know what I'm saying? Because when you trying to live your dream, you is going to do whatever it takes to live your dream. You know what I'm saying? So as an artist, you got to believe in yourself and put yourself first. It's going to be people you got to say no to. You know what I'm saying? It's plenty of times I had to be like, man, I can't do it. Yo, I ain't got it. Because I got to do this. I got to invest in stuff like this. I got to make sure I play my part as an artist, because nobody cares and they only care about your last one.
Wow. I thank you for that advice, because it's very sound, and I think it's very necessary that people realize that your support is going to be the steak and potatoes behind the whole mission that you're trying to accomplish. Having trust and having the understanding that sometimes we can't do it on our own. Sometimes we need that extra cushion to help us go the extra mile. And we have to make a choice in those times of desperateness. Am I going to do it the right way? Because some of us are doing it the wrong way. We choose to go to other avenues of support, whether it be, illegal activities or, whatever they get themselves into. And having that support that is surrounding you, they might not be able to support monetarily. They might be able to share, your latest project on their social media, or, make a video promoting it, or rocking a t-shirt, taking a picture. You never know who's going to be able to support. You never know who's in your corner unless you ask. And it's a saying that, we all know, closed mouths don't get fed. And the reasoning behind that saying is, if you don't go to these people, you can't assume that everybody's going to support you because their cousin so-and-so and their sister so-and-so. You got to ask them, you really got to go out there and hustle for your supporters. And that's something that I see you do. That's something that I see, you're dedicated to, constantly updating your Instagram, constantly on Clubhouse. You got a podcast. Things like this is what helps develop the artist to go further. That support, a lot of people, where they see, they look at y'all who are thriving and just expect like, oh, it just fell out of the sky. No, I had to work. I had to make connections. I had to build my...
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that, Amirah. I want to tell this to artists too. Don't be afraid to get a job. I had to work. I was working in a factory. I literally was working at Burlington Coal House Factory. So anybody that see me will be like, oh, I was in the factory. I was working in the factory, and every week I would take my paycheck and I'd be trying to hit the studio, or I'm trying to do something towards music. But I'm telling you, I was taking my paychecks going to the studio. Then I got in a car accident. When I got in my car accident in 2015, that's when I stopped working. But I've been not working since 2015 because I put myself fully into music. That's when I decided to invest in myself. Like, man, I almost died. I'm going full throttle for my music. I really thought I was gonna die in this car accident. So I had to go hard. I feel like this is my rebirth. This is my second chance.
Wow, I definitely appreciate you stopping by and sharing your story, who you are, where you came from in order to be who you are today. And so before we go, where can supporters follow you on social media? And then where can they stream your music?
All right, y'all can tap in with me at Renny Tha Rebel on all social medias. I'm on everything at Renny Tha Rebel. My project, you can type in Renny Tha Rebel and type in Hood Dreams, you know what I'm saying? Or just type in Hood Dreams, you want to see me pop up. And make sure you subscribe to me on YouTube, type in Renny Tha Rebel, you know what I'm saying? You can subscribe to me, I definitely need those. And most of all, make sure you support the show.
All right, thank you, Renny, for stopping by.